may not have any.
Well, you declare you're bringing back food. It's like, okay, well, what do you count as food? Are mince food? Is a bar of chocolate food? I know what they really want to know is if you brought any fruits or vegetables in that are uncanned, things like that. That's really what they're
Right.
looking for. But you feel foolish that if you don't put it on the claim thing, they're going to yell at you. If you put it on the claim thing, they're going to ask you about it and yell at you. So either way, you just lose. So it was just they declared it. They just laughed at us and threw us out of there. So it was fine. Okay. When did I say I was gonna sacrifice someone to the volcano?
You didn't. I was just anticipating your whim, sir.
I'm in a good mood. This is
I
happy
know.
Paul. This is happy
But
Paul.
but Rick said his body was ready. So I mean, if you have a volunteer,
His body is ready.
I can't read the chat, sir. Read the chat.
Unfortunate phrasing there. Um, v looking more tan, staying at home.
No, James, this is makeup. This is makeup in different lighting. Thank you, though. I am still white as a sheet and exhausted. This foundation.
God, we got to get that going. Keep the good times coming. Got to keep the volcano happy.
Wait a minute. I thought you had to throw people in the volcano to keep the volcano happy.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they were throwing people into Arenal the day we were there, but I found the most interesting hot springs in this part of Arenal. And at the very top, it's all fed by lava vents. So it doesn't smell like sulfur or anything. It's just the lava is underneath is just heating the water. So the very top one is damn near boiling. I mean, I could only stay in it for like maybe 45 seconds before I had to get out. It was just too hot.
Oh,
So
this
then
is
you
perfect.
go.
This
So
is
then you go
perfect.
one.
Wait, I've got to interrupt you here. This is perfect. If you just described basically a volcanic coffee pot, you need to go ahead and throw some coffee grounds in there.
It's not that hot. If it was, though, that would be a great idea. So we just burn the beans.
That would
My
be
God.
genius.
Anyway,
That brings a whole new meaning to Joe and the volcano.
they had 5 of these springs, and they were all in a vertical array. You had to climb around rocks to get to them, and each one was lower in temperature until you got down to the one that was probably at like 100 degrees. It's still pretty warm, but it didn't smell like sulfur. It was all mineral water, and it just felt so good in your skin. It was amazing. Oh, Rick, you went to Arenal? Your mother-in-law's in Costa Rica visiting relatives. Oh, that's cool. I could talk for an hour about Costa Rica very easily.
This is the Costa Rica show. All Costa Rica, all the time.
There is one thing I definitely want to cover though, just because it was too fucking cool not to. But it was amazing. It was just amazing. But the hot springs had a swim up bar at the bottom. And we had a Brett in our crew, and he went bonkers. He went bonkers. A swim up bar! Oh my God! It was great.
Sorry, sir. We're going to have to go ahead and cut you off because you
at the
can't
same
swim
time.
home if you drink one more.
I don't know. I think as far as he was going, if I remember correctly, he's starting in Costa Rica, then he's going to Peru, Chile, and then the bottom of Argentina, and then jumping over to New Zealand, and then going to Australia
Jeez.
before going back home. So I would love to live in that guy's luggage because holy shit, that's gonna be a hell of a trip.
Yeah.
Hell of a trip. Well, we should get this thing started. Howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Dead Robot Society. I am Paul E. Cooley. Joining me today, Veronica Jaguar and Mr. Terry Mixon. How the hell are you fine folks? It's been 2 weeks. I expect there's lots for you to say in a very compressed short of time.
2 weeks? We can't possibly say anything about what we've been doing in less than half an hour.
I know,
Terry,
right?
we all know that you don't do anything. So yours should be really short.
Oh,
Oh,
shots
man.
fired.
I swear, the guy that doesn't do anything lecturing me on productivity. Huh.
And me without popcorn. Damn.
I'm going to drink right out of my coffee pot.
You know, if I was there, I'd just take that press and just slam that thing down. You get coffee sprayed all over your face.
Hey, Rick, which part of him? Anyway,
Spicy.
Goodness,
V, what
5
the hell
minutes
have
in,
you
we're
been up
already
to?
there.
What the hell are you up to?
Were you
Oh,
asking
right,
me
me.
or V?
You? Yeah, you,
Who?
V.
Oh, yeah.
V.
Let's see. So I'm on an island, but I brought my microphone with me.
Are there
So
any green
here's where
crabs?
the dedication is.
Are there any green crabs?
No, there are no green crabs.
Stay away from the green crabs.
Yes, no, there've been iguanas. Um, I walked to the beach this morning, and there was a little boy cycling with his dad, and they passed us. And as they're coming up on the other side of the sidewalk, there's a huge iguana, and it runs across the road. And the kid couldn't have been more than like 6. He goes, Dad, see the iguana! Dad, see the iguana! And of course, the iguana is now sitting on the side of the road. And the dad is clearly they are on, on the road to get coffee or donuts or something because these people are on a mission. Dad's like, oh yeah, sure. And the kid's like, well, when we come back this way, can I go pet it? I'm thinking that iguana is not going to be
Not
there
gonna be here.
for you to pet, sir. But that's, good on you for hoping. And when we came back, at least from the beach, there was no iguana.
Poor iguana.
But yeah,
Poor boy.
so this island, when Hurricane Ian came through, it was complete. It was like the causeway collapsed. The bridge was done. And they had to bring in folks by helicopter and boat to rebuild it. So the island is still being rebuilt. And they have 2 tourist seasons. One is in like the middle of the summer, and then one is in the winter. So this is the mid, because technically we're still in hurricane season. But tomorrow is the anniversary of that hurricane coming through. And let me tell you, all the bars and restaurants are going to be very happy.
Matt says we have iguanas in Wales, only they are a bit larger, breathe fire, and tend to eat maidens.
Yeah, I bet they are. They're also red, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So other than that, been writing. I started recording some Book 15 and some Empire series.
Some skeezy series.
Yeah, this weird one where I've got to remember character voices for who knows what. But yeah, so that's fun. What else? It's bowling season. I have no brain. I really don't. So yeah. So Terry's probably had a more exciting 2 weeks.
Matt says dragons only red when they are ripe, green otherwise, and if they are yellow, they are best avoided. Okay, nothing of import. Terry, please tell us, what the hell have you been up to?
I don't know, man. After putting that big old milestone, saying over the last 2 weeks I should have accomplished something. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to meet your expectations. Talk about performance anxiety.
Jeez.
Today is the deadline for turning in my most recent novel. Let's guess how far along I am.
70%?
Actually, I've got 3 more chapters to write when the show's done. Then it'll be done.
Okay.
And I've got the last third still to proofread, so it's not happening today. But it'll happen either tomorrow or the day after.
Okay.
I love to watch
So
deadlines
soon
go
is what
zipping
you're
by.
saying.
What'd you say, Bing?
I said
I couldn't hear
soon
the
is
words
what
you-
you're saying.
Yeah, soon. It's not going to matter because I will go ahead and bundle up the 2/3 that are proofread and done and send it off to the editor today. And it'll be 2 days before she gets through with that. So the last third will not delay her in any meaningful way. So I don't feel too bad about that. I tried to get it done so that it would all be finished today, but it just didn't work out for me. Real life intervened, and I didn't make it happen.
I understand.
maybe one of these days I'll start getting them done early. It could happen.
It could. You could change who you are, everything about you, and be some other person that gets deadlines done.
Yeah, that could happen.
After a complete brain transplant, Terry now hits his deadlines. Which begs the question, is it really Terry in there? We don't think so.
3 cats.
Maybe I need to have bowling deadlines or something, where if I don't, get it, then somebody starts throwing bowling balls at me.
No,
4 pounders from what I see in the chat here.
Well, JR really shouldn't talk about 4 pounders because, well, that's not safe for him.
I'm going to let that one go and not even try and analyze it too much because otherwise it leads to some really scary places. So, yeah, we'll do. Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah. Uh-huh. So what have you been doing besides missing deadlines?
Well, the last week has been pretty well heavily involved with this, trying to get the book done on time. Didn't happen, but, hey, one can try.
Okay, fair enough.
I really haven't had a life outside of doing that since you went on vacation. So there, take that.
So you're saying everything that I said was right.
You're assuming that I paid any attention to what you said. I have no idea what you said.
Okay, all right. Yeah, fuck you too.
No, it has been busy getting these things done. So, yeah, forcing myself to focus on this has been challenging. My focus has not been real strong lately.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Understand completely. I think I'm reaching for mine right now. Vacations are deadly because they can lead you to really relax, and then you come back and you go, wait a minute, why am I not still relaxing?
That's right. You're like, fuck this. I'm still on vacation.
That's what my wife said the first day I was back, and I was complaining I wasn't getting anything done. She was like, it's your vacation day, shut up. So, yeah. Well, I spent 10 days in Costa Rica, essentially. And I had a wonderful time. Had a fantastic time. Had an amazing time. What I didn't do was write. What I didn't do was code. What I didn't do was read. All I did was enjoy. It was the first vacation I think I've taken probably ever. Because it just there weren't a lot of opportunities. We were pretty busy, and we went from unair conditioned cabins and huts in the jungle to hotels. So there were very well air conditioned. We ran the gamut from we barely have electricity to wow, this is a 5-star hotel that only charges 2-star prices. So that was made for a very interesting but relaxing time altogether. So I was in climates between like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, obviously, and muggy as hell, like 89% humidity, into the 60s and 70s up in the mountains. So I got to see everything in between there: jungles, rainforests, the whole 9 yards. It was just absolutely amazing. So if you ever thought about going to Costa Rica, I can tell you what tour company to go with, what tour company we went with, and you can go and find out if now is the right season to go, depending on what you want to do, which I'm going to talk about next, because it was just too fucking cool. Tortuguero is basically a village that's on the edge of nowhere. It's you can only get there by boat, and the way you get there is through the flooded canal systems that were originally the roads for the timber companies. So when they kicked all the timber companies out, they flooded all those roads. So they flow out to the ocean now. And Tortuguero just basically sits on this stretch of land that's between the ocean and what essentially acts like a river. And the reason why it's called Tortuguero is green turtle, which is kind of funny considering it's Aguilina. But it's a gathering of green turtles. It is where they lay their eggs. So it's where the giant green sea turtles come. So Yes, I was a tourist. Duh. I went to. They grabbed us at like 8 o'clock at night, and it was going to be stormy. We knew that. Confiscated all our flashlights, confiscated our phones, and then led us through. I don't know. It was probably half a mile, three-quarters of a mile, maybe a mile long. Walk through the jungle along paths that were lit up with red lights onto the beach, and then we tromped up the beach until they stopped us and turned us and shot all these red filtered flashlights in, and we into this giant hole, and there was Mama Sea Turtle laying her eggs. And it was one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen. We can't take pictures of it or anything else because the white lights of flashes or whatnot disturb the turtles. So that you can do the red lights, and just basically watching these glistening pearls come out in fits and bunches and filling up this egg chamber was just some of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. And occasionally while she's doing that, she'll flap her fins and move some dirt, but they act like we're not even there. Apparently they go into some kind of trance when they start laying their eggs, so that nothing can disturb them. So he watched her finish up and start filling in the dirt, and then they took us over to another one that had finished laying her eggs, had finished making a false egg chamber, the one that the jaguars find, and not the real one. And she was putting on the last couple of flipperfuls of dirt over her hole. So they lit her up with all the red lights, and we watched her turn around, which took forever, and slowly make her way back to the water, which was like more than 100 feet. And they're so tired because they don't eat before they do all of this. So they're very, very tired and exhausted, and this turtle could barely make it back to the ocean. It just seemed like it was such a fight. The flippers would move 3 or 4 times, and then they'd stop for like up to 30 seconds before the turtle would move 1 or 2 and keep moving. And then finally it made its way onto the muddy sand, and a wave came over, and then it was gone. It was so fucking cool. It was so fucking cool. That's the kind of thing that you can see on National Geographic. You can see it 1,000 times in all these different places and everything else, but until you've actually experienced it, it doesn't register. It just absolutely does not register. And then you find out that one of the reasons we're also out there is to prevent the jaguars from coming to eat the sea turtles because they're going extinct. And it's kind of sad that maybe in our 50 years this won't be happening. But I got to see that. That's something you could go see. That's something you can go do. That's something you can enjoy. You can go enjoy going through the canals and seeing the caiman crocodiles and the toucans and everything else flying up into the jungle. Just don't go in the jungle. You'll die there. What is wrong with you? You don't go there. Nobody goes there. But it was beautiful. So I highly recommend that you go watch sea turtles. Go mainline them on YouTube or something.
No, I can, when I go home during sea turtle season, you can go out to the beaches where I live on the East Coast of Florida. And they have, from May to October is sea turtle season. And they have hefty fines for lighting up the beach.
Yeah.
And they have they will tell folks you need to, draw your curtains, all these kinds of things. And yeah, but they don't necessarily take people out there. They get really, really cranky.
Yeah, this is part of their one of their eco initiatives, Costa Ricans. Eco, I can't remember what they called it, but
Eco tours.
Well, besides our eco tour, they have all these volunteers spread all up and down the beaches of Tortuguero, basically taking care of the turtles, watching over them, and then directing the tourist bozos who are out there. Dry your curtains, but don't. I'm not even putting that one up there, Rick. So the one I could talk about for like an hour is like the cloud forest, but I'm not going to do that. I wanted to tell you about the sea turtles though, because the sea turtles were just too fucking cool. It's too cool. Watching the big bastards go through it and look at everything they go through to bring out the clutches of youngs, and they do this like 4 times, in 6 weeks, and then they go out there and they're almost certainly going to die because they haven't had anything to eat for like a year. It's horrible.
you want us to leave you to watch Finding Nemo? Just get that all out.
I've never seen Finding Nemo.
But it has sea turtles in it. It has talking sea turtles in it.
That would scare the shit out of me. I think I like
It has
the nice
talking
and
sea
silent.
turtles, and it's based in like It's like the Australian reefs and the currents. So it's the black isn't in it, but you could pretend it is.
Oh my god. Anyway, if you're interested in what the tour information was and all that kind of stuff, hit me up and I'll let you know. But I think this is the best time of year to go because it's the dead season. So you get smaller groups, and which means you get more attention and more personalized stuff. So I would go this time of year. That's just me. I think I already wrote that before I went there. Paul's next book is going to write about some egg-laying nightmare, and then yeah, it's already happened. Who's this? They always find their way back to the same beach, lay the eggs. It's amazing. It's like they have turtle recall. Oh, Matt. Oh, I don't like you, Matt. That was terrible. That was just awful. Penitentiary, baby. You're headed for it. Well, that was all cool stuff that I did while I was gone. However, there is something that kind of pissed me off when I got back here.
The condition of your socks?
Oh, dude, my clothes were so wet. Oh, it was horrible. Everything was so wet. It rains a lot there. Holy shit, does it rain?
That bizarre creeping rash from said wet clothes?
No, fortunately, I was wearing the right clothes and I used a lot of powder. It's all right.
Good job.
Smart man. Occasionally, not very often. No, I'm talking about ACX's new quote-unquote binding contract.
Oh, that.
The next step in their domination of the audio space.
Yeah, let's call it that. So I'll read this one little part that kind of caught my eye. You agree that any non-public information, including sales data or financial data that you receive through ACX is confidential, and that you will restrict the communication of the data to your employees and business associates who, A, have a legitimate business need to know the data, and B, have entered into a written non-disclosure agreement obligating them to refrain from disclosure of the data.
It seems like they have something to hide.
It seems like they're pissed. It seems like they're pissed off about everybody comparing notes and going, hey, we think we're being robbed.
This feels like those jobs where they would like haul everybody into like the big multi-purpose room area. Excuse me. Whatever. And, then run through the whole, oh, and by the way, none of you are allowed to talk about your salaries or hourly wages with anybody else because you'll get in trouble and someone will rat you out if you do it. Yeah, no. Screw that. Because here's the thing. One, if you're an author, well, your business associates who need to know. That could be anybody that you're working with. That could be other authors. That could be, your narrator. That could be your cover artist. That could be your editor. That could be members of your ARC team. That could be members of, marketing street team. That could be whoever is helping manage your social media.
Correct.
That could. It's so nebulous. And then to say that you have to have a written NDA, how about not doing anything?
It's your sales data. So I think that part will end up being challenged in court and be thrown out because it's obvious overreach.
Oh, James, an ARC team. So ARC, Advanced Reader Copy. Essentially, that's having a small group of folks who get your work ahead of time, can read it, and can prepare reviews so that when something goes live, you can already have stuff up there, which can be helpful. And then they can talk it up on social media or websites.
Yep. Matt says, you think you are being robbed? Well, now you are. And don't forget to say thank you for the honor, sir. Yeah.
Yes, that is.
These are the steps a company takes when their back is against the wall. They are so afraid of what's happening right now that they are taking draconian steps to try to silence their critics. And that is the place where attorneys general start looking into this and saying, now, why shouldn't we sue you? Because you're obviously doing something wrong. And it's only a conjecture on my part, but I believe that it's almost inevitable at this point that they're going to be facing a lot more scrutiny from governmental entities, and it's not going to end well for them. They're trying to delay the day, but it's not going to stop it. In fact, it's going to make it worse.
What I see is basically they're threatening people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not cool.
Oh, yeah.
and it's a fuck you moment.
Yeah. Now, granted, it's what are they going to do? That's the other thing. What actions can they take? Can they retaliate against you?
Platform.
They can throw you
They
off
can
the
kick
platform.
you off.
Sure, they boot you off the platform. But so you can't use ACX? You can't sell your so you can't use ACX. Well, if you're an indie author, you can reach out to narrators on your own. You can go with any number of smaller publishers who, granted, will do royalty share. Usually royalty share plus because you need to pay for production. But will help you find narrators, can do dual or duet narration if your story needs that, can often help you with the marketing. But it takes a little legwork. So yeah, oops, you get kicked off the easy to use thing that also happens to be pushing you to use synthetic voices. Or do a little bit of research because hello, writer, and choose something else. Choose another path. Do you have to do a little bit more work? A little bit. Teeny tiny bit more work. You may wind up with a better product.
They're looking for authors that they can make examples of. Because when somebody causes trouble and they get smacked down, then it's going to deter other people from doing the same. And I don't think that they are correctly gauging the environment in which they live in. This is no longer the I'm going to sit back and just let things happen. As these things happen, they're going to get blown hugely into the public space for people to see what's going on. And they're going to find that there are a lot of activists out there that are not going to be stopped by what they're doing and are going to, in fact, redouble their efforts. And James has said that he feels that I'm being very optimistic and that he's an optimist in most tech in most cases. Perhaps I am being optimistic that the government will do something. But I also know that there are a number of litigious attorneys general that despise Amazon. So I don't think that I'm being necessarily optimistic. I think I'm being pessimistic for Amazon.
I think it may not happen in the immediate environment, because while there are attorneys general who would love to, take a bite of that, the current trend has been, at least in the US, which of course that's who can use ACX, for when there are these larger suits that go up against Amazon, that go up against like the AI thing that came up and then got settled and shoved.
Yeah, quote unquote settled.
There are those further up who encourage the going away of things, and the landscape is going to have to change to allow for litigation to proceed. So it may not happen immediately, but the groundwork is there, and all that does is it gives those people running room. It just, the runway is longer, and they can pick up speed and do all the research. So when the opportunity presents themselves, bam, it's all there. And again, that's optimistic on my part.
I agree with most of what you're saying, I don't have necessarily that jaundiced a view of whether or not that type of lawsuit can succeed in this environment. I believe that it does have a better chance than you might be giving it credit for, and I suppose we'll find out.
Amazon is funded by AWS nowadays, not its books. I think that crash is coming, my friend. I think this AI thing is going to break them all.
Wait, AI isn't going to rule everything? Hold on a second.
These motherfuckers are spending money that does not fucking exist on a product that does not fucking exist. The product they have doesn't make money, and they've been shoving nothing but trillions of dollars into this crap. And they're still not making any money. And they
won't ever make any money.
Yes, I know AWS is not AI. However, look at how much AI is running on AWS for companies, is what I'm saying. That's a huge revenue stream. It's a huge revenue stream. Not to mention the data.
Right. So what you're saying, Paul, is that AWS is supporting something that is not currently making money. And when that something is not going to make money, that's going to pull out. And that's what's going to cause AWS to go belly.
Any of the deaths of the major AI companies or any of these data gatherers, and let's face it, James, they're popping up like fucking fleas, man. It's terrible. They're just jumping everywhere. Everybody's putting so much money into this shit, and all the cloud infrastructure is getting eaten up. And now all the companies are saying, AWS is too expensive. We need to bring everything back inside. We need to have virtual clouds within our organizations. AWS isn't going to survive that. If that really happens, when people realize that they've been just giving their fucking data away, private confidential data away to these goddamn machines to do what it's been doing, when they finally get that through their thick fucking skulls, a lot of this shit's going to get pulled back because you cannot trust them. Oh, I've got my database in AWS. Oh, did you miss the part in subsection 25C of your agreement that allows them to anonymize the data that you've collected to feed their AIs, but not describe how it's anonymized in what way? It's going to happen. It is going to happen. I'm absolutely confident in that. The cloud infrastructure stuff is going to come to it's not going to die, but I think it's going to hit a wall. And then we'll just see what's actually going to happen. You may be right, dude. You may be right. I hope you're wrong, because I would love to see AWS go down in flames, or at least have its market share go bye-bye.
Yeah. Nothing that we would want to happen will happen at any kind of speed, because these big tech companies are the masters at delaying the inevitable until suddenly it's impossible to delay it any longer, and it snaps and things come apart.
That feels like you could say that about any big entity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, once it's got plenty of strings holding it up, and it's going to take a long time for all those strings to snap. But once they snap, it's
the domino effect. Sooner or later, it's going to start falling, and it's going to be inevitable and unstoppable.
But regardless of all of that,
now that you brought us down, Paul.
I just thought of something else that's only like slightly related. So I know. So this is more of like a beware of the current like social media environment. So book talk. Given the new sale of TikTok in the US over to Oracle. Right.
I hadn't even heard. I don't even know what's going on.
Right. So it's I'm going to do my best to honor the tenets of the show. I'm going to be very careful. So essentially, so TikTok in the US, we knew it went down not way back, but a while ago. And then it was reincarnated. Now it has been sold to Oracle. And because of the means by which it was sold and the personages who have enabled that to happen, a lot of book talkers are closing their accounts. Like, nope, I will not participate in this. I'm leaving. And that brings up a really interesting thing because book talk is huge. There are tens of thousands of authors who are on there, and readers and influencers who use that to promote titles and authors and just get out to readers. And it's gotten to the point where you go to a major bookstore or retailer, it's like read on Book Talk, found on Book Talk. And now folks are abandoning it. So where do folks go? Well, they'll go to YouTube. They'll go to Instagram. There's the whole bit of like going live on things. You can go live, as far as I'm aware, on YouTube, on TikTok, and Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I've been looking at that. I keep an eye on that from the narrator side of things, because for me, the how do you promote yourself to folks? How do I promote myself as a narrator, but also, authors, how do you promote yourself and get stuff out? A lot of folks are just throwing that third out because they don't want to be associated with it anymore. And so where do you go?
I quit Twitter. Weird. Pretty much everybody I know quit Twitter. I don't know what you're talking about, JR.
Yeah, a lot of folks did. I did. And they
the places that
probably more genre specific with books. Certain genres are going to be more prevalent on certain platforms based upon readers and authors. Mm-hmm. But it's not there on Twitter like it was. Most of that's gone to Blue Sky or Mastodon. Although, yes, some stuff is still on Twitter. And then it's a lot of what I see in the romance and fantasy spheres is on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And on TikTok, but that's probably going to gravitate towards Instagram. So,
well, I'm going to go ahead and edge a little bit closer to, what the show allows than you did.
Oh, good.
And
seniority, go for it.
It is sad to live in an environment where people draw lines and withdraw from whatever platform because of its perceived biases. But unfortunately, that's the world in which we live in. Everything is being cut down the middle. If Solomon was alive today, the baby would in fact be cut in half, and then they would be arguing over who gets the choicest bits rather than keeping the baby alive. Because my view on this is that these kind of subdivisions are not going to be helpful and sustainable over the long term, because you're cutting yourself off from half your potential audience by doing that. And if you go onto a platform that is not approved by the groups that you socialize with, then you will be held accountable for it. It's a very sad state of affairs, in my opinion.
But what if you write content that is considered? What if I'm writing sapphic romance? Mm-hmm. And that is considered sexually explicit. There may not be anything more than kisses and hugs, but because it is a sapphic relationship, it's considered explicit, and I get censored. Does it make sense for me to stay on that platform if I know I'm going to be censored? And if I know my readership isn't going to be on that platform?
There are always instances where being on a certain platform doesn't make sense for an individual. But it's not people making cases for doing it on an individual case-by-case basis. It's wholesale. It's these people do not agree with me, and I will not converse with them. And that is the society we're living in. And I think that
people don't converse.
Well,
people
this is
don't
true.
Converse.
I'm totally agreeing with you on this.
They throw bombs at one another. There's no point in
you
being
are not wrong.
Where that's all there is.
Let me finish the statement, though, if I can remember where I was going with that. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think what you're saying is absolutely true. But becoming part of a movement to exclude half of everyone just on general principles only makes things worse, not better. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. Because it's a true statement without putting myself on either end of the spectrum. As someone that believes that discourse is a necessary part of civilization, pulling into enclaves does not serve in keeping people together. It serves in driving them apart.
I am not going to respond to any of that.
Okay. You're welcome to disagree with me. I've been disagreed with before.
I have reasons for my beliefs that are different than yours. But I quit Twitter because there's no point in being there anymore. There's no point.
I quit Twitter because, well, it's stupid.
And I quit Facebook for the same reason. And then I got to drive back for this show. And now that we moved everything to Discord, I can quit Facebook again. I just haven't done it yet. But it's just
maybe you should move to Costa Rica and just get off social media entirely.
You know, I probably should.
Yeah. I have to, I need to be where the folks who will hire me are. And for the most part, that's Facebook and Instagram. And it could have been TikTok, but I said long ago I didn't have the bandwidth for it because I just, well, and and the basic security stuff. I wasn't going to install something that.
Yeah, that was
there was that whole thing.
Problem with.
So I mean, at the time I had a burner. I had an old phone that I was just going to use solely for that, but I kind of forgot the password when I reset it, so never did that. But it's I have a lot of big feelings about about this. And a lot of it is because of what I narrate and how it is and how it can be construed and what is viewed by some as entertainment and others as verboten. And all that I can say is that if I ever somehow wind up on the wrong side of things and my mother has to bail me out, I will be her favorite child. So there is that. Or my dad's favorite child. Both. I'll be the favorite for once.
You should be the favorite for everybody.
Oh, sir. That's not even after dark. That's a therapy session. But,
oh my God.
Yeah. But suffice to say, there's a lot to be said for knowing where your audience is and knowing how to market and do that. Mm-hmm. And even if you're not on certain social media platforms, it's good to know where people are and in some cases why they aren't in certain places. JR, going to jail makes you a favorite. I am the daughter of two old school journalists who let me read banned books and encouraged it from the time I could read, which was about 3.5 years old. So, yeah.
I did.
Yeah. And James, you're right. There are some people who can't. If that is where they have most of their audience. But a lot of folks talk about, this is why you have a mailing list. Mm-hmm. This is why you don't rely on one storefront. You have stuff, you have your own website and store, and you know, direct people there, but it's a trade-off. You're trading off discoverability for educating your masses.
Or because you have some ridiculously suicidal ideological, well, financially suicidal ideological streak in you.
That's a lot of adverbs.
I know it is. It's terrible.
What kind of writer are you with all those adverbs? I mean, really.
Adverb abuse, I try not to commit it. I find a lot of writers commit it all over the place. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. Adverb abuse just needs to be stopped. It's a real thing. It needs to be quit.
I think it's going to be interesting to look at the social media scene in a decade or two, because either the trend that is going on now will reverse itself, or we will be completely, utterly, and irrevocably in opposing camps. And I for one want to be there when the social media wars begin, when one company attacks the other and armed troops are sent to Google.
I think that already happened, dude. I think that already happened. We just weren't witnesses to it. It helped been behind the scenes, you know. All of a sudden, you started seeing the market share go up and down.
Social media mercenaries moving through the dark, just suddenly like the jungles of Nam.
Suddenly, Google's missing hundreds of developers. They just disappear one day. The next day, Twitter is missing hundreds. Facebook is missing thousands. What is going on? Meanwhile, there's assassinations taking place behind the scenes on everybody. That sounds like a great thriller, actually.
I was about to say, are you pitching a book?
Well, I did.
Would completely work.
I tried to write a story. I haven't figured out how to do it yet, but which side of lie with Taco Bell? The side of diarrhea. That's the side that sided with Taco Bell. Tumblr.
Sided with Taco Bell.
And you see where that got them.
I'm just going to post all my book stuff to Bumble.
Mumble.
Is that a platform? Isn't it a dating platform?
It's a dating platform.
That's what I meant, and I said it that way intentionally, saying that's where I'm going to post all my book stuff, to the dating site.
Okay. I can't wait to see the kind of responses you're going to get. I want to write it. I haven't figured out how to do it, but I want to write a story about a director of security for a company, and the world has changed such that only corporations vote. And so the number of employees, each employee of the corporation has a vote. So when they're coming around to these big discussions and everything else, the security director is trying to keep all of his people alive. And so is everybody else, while also trying to take out as many other employees as they possibly can of rival companies to thin out the votes.
So what you actually need then, you need like the purge, but at some big like developer conference.
Something like that. Something like
it's like the purge at HackerCon. Whatever it's called in
where
Vegas.
Hacking actually becomes hacking.
Hacking and slashing. I got a keyboard in one hand, machete in the other, bitch. Come on.
I mean,
I haven't figured out how to make it work. I haven't figured out how to make it work, but I like the premise. I like the premise.
I don't know.
I like the premise. What do we say about deadlines?
They're evil.
Yes, the movie The Velcro's Experiment was a bit like that. Yes, it was. Sort of. Kind of. Very terrifying. Deadlines suck.
And nevertheless, we still have to have them.
I have one on
easier
October
when
1st.
someone else sets them.
I have one on October 1st. I have 1,500 words written. It's not happening. It's not happening. It went... I haven't even talked to them
It's too bad that Costa Rica vacation totally derailed you.
Yeah, because I wasn't derailed before that. I'm not sweating it. They haven't reached out about it. They haven't. Well, I'm still waiting on cover for Kill Shelter. I'm still waiting for Kill Shelter to be published. So I figure I'm not in any hurry until after Kill Shelter is published. And one of the things I've been doing since I got home is recording the audiobook as quickly as I can to get it finished and ready to rock and roll. So as soon as the book comes out, I can put the audiobook up, and maybe 2 weeks after that, we'll have the audiobook and the ebook together, and things will be better from a marketing front. But no cover. I have no cover. I have no layout. I have nothing to approve So it doesn't really exist yet. This last book on the contract, it's hovering. It's waiting. Maybe I'll feel I'll feel inspired once I see the cover for Kill Shelter. That's when I will see. Maybe. We'll see. I'm still waiting on too many covers. I'm still waiting on 2 covers for the Black Books. It just never ends. Anyway, that notwithstanding. So I will have a deadline that will get me motivated, because I need to set a deadline for myself that I have to have this thing done by the end of November, or end of October. Good God, what month are we in? Which is going to be difficult because there's football going on. Hockey's about to kick off. And now I've got a new dog I have to take care of. Oh, I didn't mention I got a new dog.
You did not mention. You talked about, Costa Rica and sea turtles and books and, plot ideas, and forgot to mention a dog. How dare you?
Well, there he is. That is Dash.
Who is a pupper?
That is Dashiell Hammett Dash Cooley. We got him from the pound on Wednesday, and he had been there for more than a year. He's been an interesting dog. He's a little rambunctious, but he settles down really well. And it looks like he's going to be a good companion once we get some things trained out of him. But overall, he's a good mutt. He's a good doggy. So that's a new member of our family. Yeah, he is a happy boy. He's got husky eyes, and we're pretty sure he's either a Staffordshire Terrier, a husky Staffordshire Terrier, or pit bull mix, because he's got the head and the chest of a terrier or a bull.
And the ears.
And the ears are screwy.
Based on the ears, I would bet Staffordshire, because pit ears and husky ears.
Yeah, husky ears.
There's too many folds in there.
Anyway, we got him home. He's here. Carrie's got him in the other room right now. He's on a leash for the foreseeable future until we can trust him not to chew everything in sight. So he's definitely needs some bones to chew on, which we're getting him as quickly as we can. So I am dealing with that, and the cats are not amused. Rogue has already swatted him in the face twice. Shadow has yet to come down to even try and meet the dog. We had to move the cat food upstairs and the water upstairs for them, for right now. But he's always on a leash and can't get to them, but he wants to meet them really bad.
He says, I got things to say to them. They's going to be my friends.
Rogue's like, it's cool until you lunge at me to try and say hello, and then I'm not cool with it anymore. Then he gets swatted. So it works. So, yeah, I'm having to walk him at first thing in the morning because he's a terror otherwise. So I'm trying to walk him twice a day. And yeah, they can go to the bathroom more times than one day. Oh my God. So I don't think he wants to eat them, Rowdy. I think he wants to chill with them. But
he's my friends. I just hasn't met him yet.
Yeah, exactly. He's friendly with everybody and everything. It's ridiculous. So that's not going to help me reach my deadline, but I got to reach the deadline and get this thing done this month. Or October, I should say. Because then I'll have one more audiobook to record before extinction. I hope. Yeah, this is pretty much it. Hi, I love you, cat. Back the fuck up. Yep. Fortunately, Rogue is still pretty adventurous and goes forth and dares the dog to try and come near him, and then we'll basically pick him up and smack him on the nose. So it works. It works fine. So, how to get motivated for these deadlines, Terry?
I have no advice for you on motivation, because I'm never motivated for deadlines. I'm merely compelled by them.
Yep. Like I said, they're way easier when somebody else sets them. Because if I set my own deadlines, no.
Basically, my relationship with deadlines can be summed up with a scene from a movie, because the deadline is standing there over me going, what we have here is a failure to communicate. And that's it.
I know that feeling. Oh man, so
I love
bad.
as Rowdy says, I love the sound of deadlines flying by.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Oh
I'm
dear.
from the tech industry. Deadlines are more of a guideline, just coffee, lots of coffee, and no social life. Speaking of, I did bring Costa Rican coffee home.
And did you bring enough to share?
Fuck no.
Oh man.
Disappointed, sir. Disappointed.
I could only fit one bag in my suitcase.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on now. You obviously didn't think ahead. This is the place where you abandon your clothes and bring back more coffee.
I think Customs may have had a little bit. What do you mean you're bringing about 50 pounds of coffee back?
You're like, hey man, that's only a month.
Of this stuff? Yeah, I have a feeling this bag is going to be gone very, very soon. Did I arrange some Costa Rican coffee as sponsorships? No, I did not. That's a good question, though. Maybe I should do that. Can you imagine that? Us advertising Costa Rican coffee on DRS and on my podcast?
I mean,
Some men you just can't reach, so you get what we had here last week.
You know, that sounds very sexual.
okay. I mean, my mind didn't go there, but clearly, Terry, you've been thinking of other things.
Oh my God. Terry, control your urges.
Hey, when you're at a deadline, your urges just get out of control. You can't control them anymore.
Lies, lies, and more lies. So I do have bad news, though.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
I will be out of pocket next week as well.
What?
The failure to caffeinate. Yes, on October 4th is my uncle's remembrance.
Okay.
So that will be the end of that, finally. For better or worse, however it turns out. So families gathering and extended families coming in, and we're just going to celebrate his life and then move on. But it's going to take all day, probably.
Okay.
James says, Jesus, people, it's the full quote. What we got here is a failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach, so you get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants it.
And it's not a failure, it's failure without the word A in there. And I even knew that too, and I didn't say it right.
Huh. How dare you? So I guess what I'm telling you is there will be probably no show next week, because I don't see how there can be. And I probably won't be home in time for After Dark either. So we're going to take one more week off, I think. Unless V and Terry want to run it.
Nah.
Nah, Terry's got a deadline he missed.
Terry has
I'm
deadlines.
going to be relaxing from the deadline I saw fly by.
And I don't know. I should be writing.
I know that feeling.
So you're going to start, that means you're going to start the Social Media Wars, your new series?
Oh my God.
Oh no, I have other nefarious ideas that I'll talk about in After Dark that I started preparing for on the drive here, and I have concluded that at least from the 10, 15 Lovecraft short stories I've read, I do not get why. I genuinely do not get why we're holding this person up as a literary master.
I've read a few of them. It's been decades ago, and I wasn't that impressed by them, but there you are.
This is really interesting. This is really interesting because I just finished reading the entire bibliography.
And what do you
think?
So
I downloaded the full complete works, and I'm going through them because I had an idea. And I don't want anyone to ever come at me for telling half a story again. Or for being...
You got him.
Or
warn me before you say shit like that.
being stupidly obvious and shoving a reveal in my face. I'm sorry.
Welcome to the 1940s, where you just didn't have to tell a good story. You just had to just flop it out there.
It was the 20s, you jerk.
20s, 40s, whatever.
Right, so you had to flap it out there, not
That,
flappers.
you know, that is an interesting conversation that we do not have time for, because I would love to have that one with the entire DRS crew, but I have a bad feeling this is going to haunt us into After Dark. But
Well,
So in After Dark,
you
we're
know
going to
what?
talk about flapping versus flopping.
why do you do this? Why? Why do you do this?
I mean, that sounds like a football thing.
I was honestly thinking about having a show topic about H.P. Lovecraft and the difference in horror and suspense of the 20s versus now.
Well, look, now you've got something for the 11th. Because I know I'll be here for that. Look at that.
Oh God.
And I will have read through more.
We're going back to Glory Hole drive-through case again.
Speaking of glory holes, I recently saw.
No! Don't speak of glory holes.
I saw an article talking about a public park that was named Glory Hole Park, and I'm like, I understand that it's part of a game that you play, but I'm like, really? This is the name you went with? This is the name you went with?
Oh my God. Oh God.
Let's see if I can find it here. It's in the
God.
City of Aspen Recreation Area, Glory Hole Park.
Okay, so clearly there is a strain that someone has been enjoying a little too much when naming these things. And
But
while
I'm just
I am all for freedom of enjoyment,
I was just cruising through my news feed, and suddenly I see Glory Hole Park, and I'm like, I wonder what they do there.
Wait a minute, glory hole enjoyment? Did we really just have this conversation? Okay, on that note,
For those of you that do not know, Glory Hole it's a tossing game. I'm not sure what the name of the game actually is, but landing it in the hole in the center of the board is called the Glory Hole.
cornhole. It's not glory hole, it's cornhole.
Cornhole. Oh, sorry, my bad.
What? How do you get those two mixed up?
That sounds kind of similar.
if you have a question or comment about this episode, you can go to DeadRobotSociety.com, punch the contact us button, send us an email, tell us your thoughts.
We're going to go ahead and put a poll up. Cornhole versus Glory Hole. What's your favorite?
Or you could join our Discord. The link is in the show notes, and tell Terry what a bad man he is in person. Or alternatively,
I don't feel so bad.
Maybe
it's because I haven't been cornholed recently.
You can leave a comment on this YouTube episode. You can find us at youtube.com/DRS podcast, where we are live almost every Saturday at 3 p.m. CST. Like and subscribe so you know when we're live. And there's something else.
Glory holes. It's a give and take argument.
And if you want to support this madness, you can find us at patreon.com/DRS podcast and buymeacoffee.com/DRS podcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive live shows like the one coming up in 4, 5, 6 minutes. It'll have something to do with glory holes, cornholes. I don't know what kind of holes. There's no telling, but we'll be doing that. And if you're dumb enough to support this show at the $10 level, you get your name read. And our wonderful $10 patrons are Juan Valentin, James Terrell, Antoine Batts, Rick Shaw, Lisa Slack, and Tim Niederreiter. Thank you to all of our patrons for making this show possible. One show I have 250 points and it ends this way.
You know, why isn't Antoine here to tell us the difference between a glory hole and a cornhole? He's the perfect guy to ask.
I'm ending this madness. I'm ending it now.
I can't.
I'm really thinking about ending it.